Welcome to the Divine Heart of Wisdom podcast, the space where biblical truth meets real life situations. I'm Alicia, your host, and here we challenge ourselves to face life's hardest moments, embrace accountability, and grow in wisdom and maturity. On today's episode, we're diving deeper into our accountability series with a focus on raising accountable children. If you've ever wondered how to teach your children to own their actions, it starts with you. As parents, we are our children's first and most influential role models. Let's look at how modeling accountability can shape the next generation. Growing up, I can remember adults always saying to us as children that we should do as they say and not as they do. Imagine them wanting us to do something they themselves didn't want to do. It's good that they wanted to teach us the right way to do things. Well, at least what they thought was the right way. But wouldn't it have been better, much better, for them to actually do the very thing they were instructing us to do? I don't know about you, but my children, they love to mimic me, especially my daughter. So for that, I make sure to set good examples and habits for them to mimic. I still instruct them, but I also lead by example. Sometimes when you show them how it's done, they learn quicker than when we are dictating things to them that we ourselves aren't doing. As a child, I used to think, if it's so good, why aren't you doing it? But of course, I would not have dared say that, or else those words would go to the pit of my stomach quickly. If you know, you know. Because of how I was raised, I decided that I didn't want my children to face the same things I did. So instead of being a dictator over them, I made it a point to be a steward. I'm grateful to have known beforehand that my children are a gift to me from the Lord, and recognizing they are not my own, but His. I'm just a steward of them to guide them to where He wants them to go. Hallelujah. With this knowledge, I decided that the way I wanted to instruct my children was with wisdom and not fear. I wanted them to respect me, not to fear me. I wanted to build up a relationship with them so they would feel safe and free to share anything with me, knowing that I would be able to guide them with wisdom. And not just because I was their parent, but as a vessel of the Lord. Hallelujah. When you realize that your children are people too, whom you can learn and glean from, you will start to treat them in a manner where you respect them enough to listen to them and to acknowledge their feelings, their emotions, and their opinions. I know, as parents, sometimes we get frustrated and our children may do things that is not pleasing in our eyes. Some things that would cause us to want to lash out on them, even yell at them. But in the event these things arise and we lose control of ourselves, we should be able to model accountability when we recognize our own wrongs and go back and apologize to them. Even explaining to them that how we acted was uncalled for, and voice how sometimes we are frustrated. We can at times do things in the moment that can hurt others that we love. This is a great way to teach them how to also identify their own life when they are wrong in response to anything or to anyone, so they too can take accountability. I know sometimes parents find it hard to apologize to their children because they assume it will make them look weak if they humble themselves to their own children. But let me tell you something. Humility isn't a weakness, it's a strength. Okay? I remember growing up, our church used to have a yearly trip that we would go on. We would travel to a sports ground and compete against other churches in different sports activities. And we always looked forward to that trip. I know I always did. I was super excited to go. And my grandma, she bought me the most beautiful jeans jumper skirt and top. It was so pretty. And my cousin and I, we barely slept the night before because of our excitement. But as morning came, I was told I was not going. Ha! And the reason for my mother's decision was that the water pipe that ran water to the house was broken. And someone said it was me. Me. It was not me. But as one of the youngest in the house, they planted it on me. And my mother didn't want to hear anything from me. Nothing I said could change her mind. She was so upset and frustrated. And in the heat of that, she made an unjust decision, which I had to comply with. After all, she is my mother. After the rest of the family left and the bus drove off, I realized I really wasn't going. I was furious. I cried. You know what? Cried is an understatement. I mean, I hollered. I hollered for hours. My mother finally, after a while, recognized her mistake and called me to say she's making me an outfit and taking me to a fish fry. To be honest, as a child, I could have cared less about a fish fry. Okay? What I wanted to do was to go to the event that we have been waiting forever for. But it was too late for that. And she knew, but she still wanted to do right by me. At least that's what she thought she was doing. But you notice that even though she recognized where she was wrong, she never apologized. Instead of saying that she was sorry, she tried to butter me up by doing something nice. Now, how many of you are guilty of this? You better own it up now because you know you are it. You've done it before. A simple sorry for not listening to you would have sufficed. Or even saying, I was sorry for not letting you go on the trip. But she didn't do that. Proverbs 22 verse 6 says, train up a child in the way he should go. Even when he is old, he will not depart from it. Training isn't just about rules. It's about modeling Christ-like behavior. When we model accountability, we show our children what it looks like to live with integrity. Here are 3 ways you can raise accountable children by modeling accountability. Number 1, own your mistakes publicly. If you make a mistake in front of your child, acknowledge it in front of your child. Step 2, create a safe space for honesty. Let your children know it's okay to admit when they're wrong. 3, celebrate accountability. When your child owns up to a mistake, praise them for their honesty. They will continue to be honest. Well, we've come to the end of this episode, but remember, raising accountable children starts by being accountable ourselves. This week, think about how you can model accountability in your home. And remember that every moment is an opportunity to teach your child how to live with integrity. Thank you for joining me on the Divine Heart of Wisdom podcast. If this episode spoke to you, please share it with another parent or caregiver who might need encouragement today. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode in our accountability series. Until next time, let's grow in wisdom and love together. Bye.